Well, so we have two guests in the studio. We have the NDC's Greater Accra Regional Chairman and ex-official cabinet minister. Well, that's not his position. And Joseph Nia Adekoka is in the studio. And thanks for joining me, sir. All right, and you've been in the news since you and MPP.
That's true.
We are talking about MPP. We have a member of the MPP here. We have Henry Kwabna Kukufu. And Chairman Kukufu, how are you?
I'm fine.
All right.
He's not a chairman.
Oh, we just call him chairman.
Oh, that's true. I never knew.
Oh, that's for Nana. He's a member of parliament for Bantama. And 2 weeks ago, he just graduated with his master's in LLM, you said?
Yeah, oil and gas.
That's in oil and gas.
Yes.
Great. He's already a legal practitioner too, and that bodes well for him.
Thank you.
When your party wins, it means a good cabinet position for you.
I will not have to wait for my party to win. It's about service to the nation.
Okay.
And service to my
That's
party.
the refrain.
Yeah.
I'm talking about service to the nation. All your aspirants were talking about service to the nation, how they can improve on the well-being of the people, etc. for the various. How did it go? Because since the whole event, we haven't met.
Yeah, good morning to yourself and my brother and your esteemed viewers. Service the people. That should be the mantra. I think everybody that goes to politics, the first call is to serve the people. And invariably, people who go to parliament have limitations because their job is to legislate. And when it comes to their inability to provide the amenities that they go to promise the people, then they have a problem. So it's very important for people to distinguish between the jobs of the parliamentarians and the job that has to be done pertaining development. You know, look, development of the country is the job of the government, and when it comes down, it's the job of the district assemblies. We are losing that concept and putting a lot of premium and pressure on MPs as agents of development. That's why they start. So, if Honorable Kukufu, during his campaign time to become an MP, goes to say he's going to construct an asphalt road, me and him knows that he's not the minister of roads and highways. He hasn't got the capacity to go and put an asphalt road, 1 or 2 or 3 kilometers asphalt road.
And he's not the minister of finance.
He's not the minister of finance who will dedicate the money for it. So all those who have gone around saying they can construct roads and hospitals, well, let's wait and see.
All right. So you guys go around promising, or you want to build schools for the communities, you want to give them electricity connected onto the grid, you want to pay school fees, you want to do this and that. Why do you promise? Like, what goes into your mind when you're campaigning? Is it some spirit that makes you think that you're a philanthropist and so you just have to keep promising?
Anyway, let me say good morning to your esteemed viewers. As usual, my people from Bantama, they always catch on your program. Nana Danko Ekufado is in faraway London, and this morning he asked me to say good morning to you and your viewers out there. Politicians promising and all that, and in this case, zeroed down to we the MPs or parliamentary aspirants and all that. People believe in lies more than realities on the ground. My senior colleague talked about MPs not being agents of development or not being developmental centered per se. However, we have a core duty and functions to perform as members of parliament. It is not only for legislation. The oversighting responsibility of all the executive arms and the judiciary and then the sector agencies. That is for us. It is within our ambient to do so. And it's not for a matter of being given that responsibility for that sake. It is to enhance governance, to improve upon good governance and all that. So even I'm an MP within a constituency, and the coordination is done so much so well. What is expected of me is to collate the ideas of my people, get to parliament, issues of national importance and interest, you articulate, you research and articulate your point of view, not from you directly, but from you alone, but with a sample view of people within your constituency, how they think about the whole thing. And then later you come back and you discuss with them and all that. During campaigning, you get people coming on board with different agenda, with different thinking and all that, aspirations differently. So in order to get the mandate of the people, the system itself have impoverished the people so much so that the expectation is so high. You pop up for leadership position and people think you are the savior, you are the messiah coming on board. So the little thing, I'll give you a car, I'll give you a telephone set, I'll give you a TV set, and people will be hailing you. And it does not go through politics alone. Even in our churches and in our social gatherings, those who can give more are giving the prominence and then the priority. And these are attitude and
so it's just a mindset issue, you say?
A mindset issue, but we, the politicians, have aggravated the situation to the extent that how on earth do you expect your MP to construct the road? Then it starts from the point that you do not even understand the dynamics that goes through the parliamentary proceedings and all that. And we ourselves engineer the whole kind of thing. You get there and you are unable to do. So some of us who always want to tell the truth, the reality as it is. And it is not a matter of do and die. You may accept the truth and vote for me, or you may accept the truth and decide not to vote for me. My conscience is intact. If you have an MP who want to go to Achimota Forest Land, where a private entity want to take public land and go and fight it out openly, and get the property for the
That's
state.
commendable.
If you have an MP who will research and go through Metro Mass Transit, where buses are being stolen, and then the MP fights it
like
out.
the way you see in the US, they take a certain course.
That's it.
And champion it.
Yes.
We don't see it in Apache, say.
And that is me. That is what I'm talking about myself as an MP.
Now, if you do that, you'll be voted out, Bantama.
Yes, and I was voted out in Bantama because, because I was unable to share cars, I was unable to compete with monies here and there. I haven't regretted doing so. But the point is so clear and open that the power to choose, the power to make the choice of leadership who we want to lead us in this nation, disregard of NDC, NPP, CPP, we have got to look beyond what it takes. Service to the nation, service to the people is something that must be seen in practicality. I adopted 2 months into my office as an MP. I adopted Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, Ward D5. It used to be called the departure ward, females ward. Very horrible.
Departure means every other you are dying.
Yes, you are there and you are going. Doctors, nurses, and paramedics did not find it comfortable to work there. Patients get there and they just get themselves ready to go. I took it upon myself. My 50,000 to rent a home for myself, I used that one to renovate. As we speak today, I've spent close to 1 billion cedis there. People looked into my face and told me, you should have shared the money for us. Who the hell you have got to go and adopt this? So we have given credence to this kind of thing. The electorate and we, the aspirants, we have contributed.
I see that you have a lot more story to share.
Yeah.
You see, and as a result of that, when they go, they are booted out.
Exactly.
Okay, I call it booted out because then you're not giving them ample time to continue service. And so it results in some disgruntled people who thought they've not been treated fairly. And your party, for example, in a press conference yesterday, that will be on Tuesday?
Yesterday.
Okay, Tuesday. So you said the disgruntled MPs should not leave the party or should not decide to go independent?
Exactly.
Otherwise they flout the party's rules?
Yeah.
But that also means that the hammers will be striking on their heads, right?
Well, the carrot and the stick, you see. And my brother has said it rightly so. Because when you go around and you interact with the people, what can, this MP, he hasn't paid my son's school fees. I went to him to get some funeral donation. He didn't give me. You know, so I keep asking myself, hey, the MP must have Bank of Ghana in his votes. That every time he's got that money. You see, it has, because of this kind of policy that it has made it so expensive. So like Honorable said, if he has spent his good time and goodwill to put up, to rehabilitate a hospital that will cater for many, many more people, and for that reason he goes and is booted out, like to use the word inverted comma, he will feel aggrieved. Definitely.
Because he was booted out. The individuals in your party who were booted out and they thought it was a bit unfair.
That's so there must be a serious paradigm shift. That's what I'm saying, that people who are going around promising people heaven,
educational funds,
within a twinkle of an eye, they realize that the reality is not so. So come another 4 years, they also be booted out. So it becomes a vicious circle. So you don't have continuity, you don't have experience, you don't have the system. Then become every time.
You don't consolidate.
Exactly, and it hurts our democracy. People will sit back and I was coming when somebody called me on the radio station, and the kind of word was even using on ET Mensa, the Methuselah. I mean, come on.
Mugabe. Have you heard of Mugabe?
I mean, are you looking at the look, you go to US, he's been at US, you go to US and you find,
and UK too.
you find people who have been in parliament for over so
30,
many years.
40 years.
30, 40 years. They've been
in UK, you are 20 years and they will say, oh, you just came.
You just came. You know, and if in our parliament now, you have people who are even in, like Honorable Kokofu. He's not even one term MP.
Yeah, 2 years. And
2 years. I mean, 2 years.
Yeah.
What has happened? The experience that he was trying to gain over the years now, what has happened to it? It's been thrown to the dogs. So, I think it's about time all of us, the parties, sat down and look at this democracy that we are practicing. It's very important for people to evaluate. But there are certain things that we do they enable our benefit? It is good to expand the system.
So those who go independent in your party, what will happen?
Oh, so when you go independent, you've lost your chance of being member of the party for so many years. Your ability to take a position in the party is then hindered, you know, because you are automatically
so you just have to
from the party.
bear the brunt.
You just have to assuage your feelings, and hopefully, I believe that there will be another time for you to move on. I mean, definitely, politics should not be the end in all. You might find something. I'm sure my brother just said he had even gone to do his LLM in oil and gas. Now, I will employ him to go and set up a consultancy. When he lives there,
he would have been better off as an MP because he's a good legislator.
Yeah, but unfortunately now that is not. That doesn't mean that he's going to.
Sure, he has to move on.
He has to move on. Yeah, so your
Parliament will hire my services.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
but at the end of the day, would you say that the way we conduct our politics, and if you take a cue from the NDC's primaries, and we're speaking to it because they expanded their college from what you did, from the 140,000 excess that you did to over 2 million people they had on their register who needed to go and vote and elect people. Do you think that's the way to go, putting the grassroots closer to taking decisions at the top level?
Before it comes in, it is good that you put the grassroots, you see, but the grassroots must have a responsibility.
And some level of self-awareness.
Exactly. That's you see, we say carte blanche. You give a blank check, right? But where are the responsibilities? Some of them even don't understand what we are talking about.
Yeah.
You give them the right, but sometimes they don't understand. Somebody come and give you 5 cities, go and vote for that candidate. And that is where the responsibility must come.
But it's also true that at the top level, when you have a few who keep making decisions, there's also an abuse.
Yes, a quick one. I think we must congratulate ourselves somehow for coming this far. It started in the, let me limit myself to the 4th Republic in Ghana, Constitution 1992-93 coming. We all saw how the political parties did their selection or election of their representatives in Parliament and all that. Fortunate for NDC, they came out of PNDC. They had a political structure at the grassroots firmly rooted through the PDCs and the CDRs. So when they wanted people to contest, it wasn't so difficult for them. They had people at the various levels who really came up to do so. And my chairman will bear me out. The offshoot of their political giants today owe their allegiance to that kind of political system.
But you had to just reorganize yourself.
Yes, that was the bias in the system at the time.
Because you had to be in opposition for 30 years.
Yes, and there was a ban on political activities. Yet under PNDC, there were political activities covertly being practiced in this country. So when the window was opened, come 1993, for political parties they had an advantage, a platform to start from. We did not have, as it were. We needed to. That's why we give credence to our forebears, Honorable Damboche and Co, and Nanadu Danko Kufuadu, J. Kufuor and Co. I mean, they were so fast and up and doing to put certain structures down. And we've developed it up to this point. Indeed, 2009, when we wanted to get the electoral college expanded, there were people who really criticized. So we had to go for extraordinary conference to change the constitution in order to give room for this. We used to have one person from polling station, the chairman, to come together to constitute the electoral college. So you have just a handful, and people could be easily be bought, and monetization, what we call moneycracy.
So now,
today.
now it's better.
No, not really. So we thought of expanding by bringing on board 4 more, so we become 5-5, with the view that as we move on, we would have gotten to a response.
Is it enough, the current state?
And we should have. Dan Botre, I always give him the credit. He had been an advocate of this kind of expansion, the card-bearing members and all that. We should have done it long ago.
Do you think that by the next election you would have done that?
Yes, of course, but sitting back, we've been able to see what our brothers and sisters
you learn from
and NDC have done. You know, I commend them. It was a bold decision and all that. However, the challenges that they faced, most of them were self-inflicting and all that. But then, it's a learning process. We have taken cue from exactly what really went wrong. We started it. They just bypassed us. We're going to follow their footsteps and get to know the gray areas and then the potholes and all that to fill in. Because how can on earth you get a delegate, somebody call herself or himself a delegate, and then there was a school child with me wanting school fees, and this woman comes in and said she wants me to buy louver blades for her. She has completed a building, personal building. I should buy louver blades. I said, no, I can't do that. I have to pay. I have little money. I have to pay this child's school fees. She went out there, told everybody, Kukubu is a bad man. Kukubu He didn't make sure he between his bank and all kinds of things. Oh, sure. Little did she and those people know that you don't uproot me, you uproot the system. You uproot, I mean, you...
So that's what it is?
Yes, you jump this the dynamics.
All right, Nana, that's okay. So now you, during your press conference yesterday, you were having an overview, assessing the situation and trying to answer some of the criticisms out there, if it's about the 90-something% that your presidential candidate got, etc. But you were also advocating that you name a new flag, the vice presidential candidate's precon.
Yeah, once
because I believe it was in the speech of the General Secretary.
Yeah, once the flag bearer had emerged, there's a need for us to have our running mate, so that the process will. And you don't need 3 months, you don't need 6 months, you need ASAP, right? By the end of the year, because next year it's election year, and that's not the time you are not. January, you should be able to outdoor your presidential candidate and your running mate and your aspirants, so that the battle begins. So,
what's the information you pick up from the body, the individuals that are expected to make this decision? No, because already you have a vice president who was the running mate the last time around.
If you want, you want my personal opinion, which I think I'm entitled to have, right? So nobody should go and put headlines that Adekoka is saying this or that. My personal opinion, I think there's no need to change a winning team. If you have a horse and a good rider, you don't go and change the rider and go and get a new rider on it.
So Papa, say me, sir.
Well, for me,
you don't change a winning team.
If you do a winning team, I mean, when I was in sports, if my number one goalkeeper, even if he's got a broken hand, before the kickoff, the hour before the kickoff, I want the doctor to come and tell me whether he's fit.
And you were the team manager in your school?
I'm talking when I was running a club, not a team manager. Administrator, yes. I will have to, if he says he's because during the week I'll be preparing him. So on the opt-in time, I will ask my doctor to tell me that unless he's not fit, if he's partially fit, I'll let him go and be the pool because just his presence will scare the opponent. So you don't change a winning team. I believe
yes,
so.
And one thing too, as you add yours to it, is the experience you gain. For example, how many terms were you in office?
This is his first term.
You just for a term?
Yeah, he hasn't finished his first term.
You know, George Lowe and some good friends of mine.
The man is a good man.
Yeah. So for example,
so you throw him, you uproot him.
Yeah. So for example, you two Sabanch, and at the end of the day, within the period when you've been in office,
yes.
I mean, even in public discourse, in activities within Parliament, and the way you serve as an interface between the party, the legislature, and the public also. All those experiences are just thrown away.
Let me say, you come on board to Parliament, and you personally, you've got to make your aspirations and your intentions come to bear on the basic. So you tell yourself, I want to be relevant to the situation there. What can I do? It's all about research and be on top of your toes, looking at national issues here and there. You need to have the horizon at your feet. So I looked through and I got to know that at the petroleum industry, the capacity is so woefully inadequate. 3 weeks ago, Professor Kwesi Botwe had the cause to complain that we need to build up the capacity in the industry. So I looked at it and then said, this area, nobody here in Parliament, even the institution itself, is so incapacitated to understand the petroleum industry. So I just went in there, and we had a lot of time up for us to use, extra time. So I went to the University of Ghana. You know, I'm wearing the attire. When I graduated, the Vice Chancellor told us to go out there and be ambassadors of the university. So we are the new alumni on the block, the newest. So you see, so I went there.
It's the first cohort.
Pardon?
The course you're doing is the first cohort.
No. I did BSc in Natural Resource Management.
No. I mean the course you did. Is it the first
set off? Yes. No, I cannot. No. Okay. I know Honorable Fuseni, Minister for Roads. Yes, in fact, he was a role model to me.
Okay.
Yes, he has that degree also.
Okay.
So I went in and all to try to enhance myself so I could be able to.
So in office, that's what you do. You have to build on your knowledge. Because
yes.
I ask this question because you have lobbyists and critics or who want to, let's say, we don't want the same running mate like the last time. They want a new one. Then they are lobbying here and there, doing all kind of funny things.
Yes.
And I know that's the same thing that they do for you as well.
Yes.
At the party level, people
that is at the lower level. But let me jump into the NDC. It's a sign to show to telling us that all is not good with the party. It's not well with the party. Otherwise, just as my chairman said, otherwise who would want to change a winning team? But just as you are saying, the jockeying and the lobbying and everything is ongoing. Competence is not being looked at. Even if it is being looked at, what the objectivity and all that. And the president himself, how many did he get percentage? You said 95?
95.
No. It's 93.2.
You got 95.1.
95.1 plus 2% rejected plus 4% no gives you 102%, which is overbloated.
I will explain it to you.
Overvoting.
I will explain it to you.
Chairman, overvoting. So if you want to do practicality, you just take 2% out of the president's 95, so you get 93.1%. And it's an indictment on the on the popularity and the generality of the president. Okay. They made a mistake. One, I did not know their constitution. I did not see why MPs who were going unopposed, where votes were not cast on them. But the president going unopposed, there was a vote cast on him.
So you think there should have just been an affirmation?
Affirmation, that is one. Number two, knowing very well that nobody goes into mathematics exams and expect 100%. They shouldn't have touted the 100%, the 100%. So you give president 100%. So at the end of the day, you don't get the 100%. One man race, and yet Mr. No, who has no supporter, who has no campaign manager, no family, gets 4%.
Who is Mr. No?
The no vote. Yeah, the no vote. So if you should add Mr. No's vote to the so-called reject ballots, which in my view were not reject ballots, they were part of the no, because there was absolutely nothing there to confuse anybody.
So you think that there was a transition of some of the no votes into sport ballot?
Exactly, because there was the president picture and no other picture.
It's okay, you're making politics of it.
No, I'm trying to help.
No, well, this one is critical.
Can I respond?
No, sir.
You don't want me to respond.
Sometimes you have to lose some of the politics. Don't worry. This one is public.